Hi, this is Pat with RacketStringTips.com. Thanks for coming back. And today I want to discuss buying sets versus buying reels for string. And so I've been asked that question. It's like, should I buy sets? Should I buy reels? You know, what's going to be the best value? And I've seen other, I guess I've seen other videos where it's just kind of theoretical, like, okay, yeah, this is about what the set costs. This is about what the reel costs. So I think I save a little bit. But you know what? Today we're actually going to get into the numbers. I spent like 3 or 4 hours actually going through about 16 string brands on one website. I can tell you what it is. It's Tennis Warehouse, and they have a good selection of string. And so here's what I did. I went ahead and went through every single brand that was on there, and I wrote down every set that was available in both one set versus, and then also in that was available in a reel. And so then I compared the price. So I wrote it down. So I have basically about 18 pages of all of this. And so that might be overkill for some of you, but if you want it, I will, as soon as I finish it all and polish it up, I'll have it in my, you'll be able to, I'll put it in my video in the post, and it'll also be on my website, RacketStringTips.com. So I still need about a day to fix that up. But I do have some numbers. I went ahead and ran the numbers for Babolat, and a little bit on actually just the Babolat numbers. I was going to go into Luxilon, but I just did mostly just the Babolat, so I'll kind of go into that. So there's a couple assumptions that we're going to go off of. So we're going to go off of that basically there's 3 sizes of reels. We're going to be talking about reels that are 660 feet. We're going to talk about 726 and then 330. Those are the 3 reel sizes that I found within all of these strings. And a couple other things, we're not going to include taxes, and we're not going to include anything related to shipping, so that would be additional. So this is just straight the cost of sets versus reels. Now there is one thing, there's sales on strings on different times. So right now, based on me filming this now and me doing my research now, there are a few of the sets that are on sale, and I'll mention that because that's also going to be a pretty large savings. So I'll tell you right up front, we got some pretty decent savings on this, so it's going to be worth your time to stay here. So all right, so let's go into some of these. So we're looking at Babolat, and we're looking at, I'm just going to give a couple of numbers. Sometimes I get these pop-ups on here and it's kind of annoying. Okay, so all right, so we're gonna let's just talk about a couple of these things. So basically what I did was I have 5 different columns here. I list the string, I list the reel size, I list the price of the reel, and then I list the set price and the set, how many feet are in there. Most of the sets are going to just be 40 feet. There was a few that were 38, but most of them are all 40, so that's pretty standard. And if you look at a reel of 660 feet, you're going to be able to get 16.5 sets out of that if you just measure it by 40 feet. If you have a 330, this is kind of interesting, if you have half of that, which would be a 330 reel, you're actually only going to be able to get 8.25 sets, which is really 8. Because 0.25 sets, like a quarter of a set, is not going to help you at all. So that's basically wasted string. So that's one thing to note there that I thought was kind of interesting. And then for the 726 feet, it's really 18.15 sets. So again, you're going to have a little bit of wasted string. There's not anything that you're going to be able to do with that 0.15 sets. So then when I broke this down even further, if you are going to just break this down, if you're just going to break a reel down into sets, you're going to be able to, like as an example, the 660 feet. If you break it down just into sets of 40, you're going to get 16 sets out of that. Now, if you are going to use it for hybrids, which a lot of times you do when you buy reels, if you're going to use it for hybrids or you're willing to use it for hybrids, you're actually going to be able to get 16.5 sets. So that extra half a set is extra value. So I'm going to throw out a couple specifics here. Okay, Babolat RPM power, which we all know and use, right? If you split up, they come in reels of 660. right now $229.95. That breaks it down to, if you divide it by, you know, just 16 sets, it breaks it down to $14.37 a set. If you break it down for the 16.5, you're going to net it down to $13.94. And if you just buy a set straight out, it's going to cost you $16.95. So really, the best deal you're going to get, you're going to save $3 per set. Multiply that times your 16.5, and boom, you've got about $51 in savings if you buy a reel. Now, when I did all of the calculations just for Babolat, the best deal out of these strings is 17.2% that you're going to save. Okay, you're going to save 17.2% if you buy a reel. Worst case scenario for some of the strings, you're going to save 8.85%, but you're always going to be saving money if you buy a reel. Now, there are times when you're probably not going to want to buy a reel. If you specifically, like if you're retailing the sets and you're going to sell the sets, well, then you need to do it that way. If for some reason, you know, you just would prefer to have the sets, some people feel more comfortable just cracking open the set and just stringing with that. Makes it a little bit easier, less measuring, that kind of thing. But if you're going to be traveling, if you're playing, and you know, many times you're just going to want to take a reel with you. That way, you're not going to run out of string. It's got a lot less waste to it. But the one downside, after doing all this, I realized the biggest downside is that many of the strings, many of the newer strings, ones that maybe have just come out, are not always available in reels. So you're going to find some of the strings are just not available in reels. So when I went through all this, I only put down the ones which are available in a reel and in a set, so I could do a comparison. But there are some that are not. So, so that's kind of, I think, the biggest downside to this. And something interesting too, when I looked at some of the, I think it was under Luxilon, there's a couple right now that are, I think for a lot of the brands, there's some that are on sale. So if you buy one reel, you get 3 free sets of the same string. So if you do that, if you buy the reel and then get the 3 sets, you are netting this down and you are actually saving 27% on your purchase. So you're really getting, on a reel that cost you $269, you end up saving like $97 because you're getting all these extra sets and so forth. So 27%, that makes it really valuable. So I think what I'm going to start doing every week, I'm going to start highlighting. I'm going to do a little video and have it on my website as well, as far as where the deals are. So I only take this from Tennis Warehouse. There's other online sellers as well, wholesalers, retailers, that are going to have deals. Sometimes you buy a certain amount of sets and you get a certain amount free. So there's also that. So there are some deals to be had. Of course, it doesn't mean anything if you don't use those strings. But just in general, if you use reels, really what it comes down to is, if you're willing to buy reels, you're going to save anywhere between 8 to 17% just off the top. That's just how it is, straight. So I just wanted to bring that information to you today. I hope that was valuable. Again, I did a complete breakdown. I mean, I have about 15 pages where I went through. I'm crunching all the numbers, and I'll have that available for you if you just want to look at that, and then that way you could buy the strings that have the best value for you as well. So anyways, that's it for today. Have a good day, and we'll see you next time. Peace.